know you do. I know you do, so that's what I do. I give you that kind of love that makes you come back. I'm your pusher, baby. I'm your pusher.
Hey, little black boy, let me holler at you for a minute. I was once in your place. You should respect what I say. Some of the things I'm about to tell you just may save your life in a world where not much is right. Little black boy, you're gonna see and experience all sorts of things, but don't let your mind be locked in the chains. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spitfire Poetry Shutdown. I'm your host, Hansboro. This is being brought to you by Butterfly Entertainment. Go to ladyjmedia@gmail.com for all your ways to watch the shows on What Up Baltimore Online Radio. Oh my goodness, tonight, ending off Women's History Month. It's perfect that I have my sister on here tonight. I'm gonna try to get through this interview without shedding any tears. She already asked me how I'm doing, and I was been a bit nervous because she means a lot to me and she helped me a lot in what I'm doing. So without further ado, I want to introduce you all to Chantia Jackson, everybody.
Hi.
How you doing, sis? How are you?
I am today, because we are together and I had something to look forward to. I feel blessed. I think we all should give ourselves a little something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
That sort of, think about something that will help to lift our spirits.
Right.
I believe if we do that, something small, it doesn't have to be, that you go outside of your home, but something small that you can say at the end of your week, you're going to do this for yourself, or you're going to go here by yourself. Just a little moment that you can, think to, use your creativity. Because I think creativity is lost, ingenuity lost, inventiveness lost, because we can't think to do something outside of what money can afford. So wow. I'm hoping, to continue to serve and support raising the vibration of our brothers and sisters and our children.
Yes, you definitely do. I got so much that we can get into. Before we get into anything, first, by this being Women's History Month, let me know who are the most influential women in your life. Maybe 2 or 3. Not, you don't have to go too many.
Sure. Well, interesting enough, for me, it's always been regular human beings, that have inspired my journey. I've never looked outside of myself, for anything to sustain me or to fill me up. So my mother is one of them. My mother is a substantial source in my life and will continue to be. Actually, she just transitioned recently, as of a few months ago. I will share with you and share with everyone that it's not a loss. This is a new experience for me. So I'm understanding that even more that we're spiritual beings, because I don't feel a loss. I feel an expansion of our relationship. I'm getting to know her in a new way. I have to listen, in a new way. I have to think in a new way. So she's continuing to serve me in ways that no one else would ever be able to do. Not just because she's my mother, because we all have mothers and fathers, and some of us aren't happy with who we came through, but my mother has always been a constant inspiration. Anything that anyone loves about me is because she's the one who taught me to speak life, since I was a child, since I was 7 years old. Speak life, speak life into your own situation, speak life into the people that are passerbys or friends, and that's it. You are not the destroyer of souls. You are the uplifter of them. And she's told me that, and I've just held on tight to it. So, of course, her absence, it sort of very impactful. So the quiver in my voice is because I love her so dearly and deep, you know. So you're talking about, getting on here, me asking you a real question.
Right.
You just asked me something that, goes deeper than just the surface. So,
Right.
It's still an inspiration to me. Again, it's a new thing, but then there's, and this is an interesting human. So the second woman in my life I met when I was 17. She's actually one of my loves in my life, his mom. We were together for almost 6 years, but to date, we are still close. She's from Antigua, West Indies, so I got a chance to sort of, expand my mind into the depths of who we truly are. She is the one who, with their family, took me to Antigua and, traveled there, and I got to spend an entire summer when I was 18, and, getting to teach there as well, and sort of live in a village and, feed myself and grow things. And that's been an inspiration to me as well. Toni Morrison is another one. So I'll leave off at that. And it may be interesting. Her writing is brilliant, but her life story, her life experience is what I really admire the most, because she had 2 sons. And she didn't begin her writing journey or getting published until she was around 39 or 40. She raised her sons, and, she embarked upon this life. So women like that, there's many more. So I look into your life experience, not actually your body of work, because what we do is out of our experience. So I want to know about that. I like to get to the heart of the matter. And those women always got to the heart of the matter with me. So even though I've never met Toni, I met her through her words, and I met her through, her sharing her experience and being pretty transparent about it. So I love that about women who can get to the heart of the matter, and don't deal in shame too much, because they know what it feels like to feel ashamed, but they also have experienced freedom. So I love free women, and those are 3 free ones to me.
I love it. I love it, man. Chantia, so this is 2022. When I started this journey with poetry and expressing myself, right? Just to give a backstory, first of all, Chantia and my wife went to school together, so she knows my wife. We know each other. We've been knowing each other for a few years. I would say this was maybe 2018, I think. I say this story all the time, but I told Chantia about the vision that I'm doing right now, right? It wasn't virtual back then. It was it was in person. It was open mic stuff then. And we were out, and my daughter put me on the spot and told me to share a poem that I had been reciting in the house. That's the thing that killed me too. I was doing it for days and days and days, because that was the first one that I really felt. I felt that was me so much, right? And I shared it with you, and you gave me some words of encouragement. You shed a tear a little bit, and you told me that I should go full force in what I'm doing. And you always have been there. Whenever I did open mics, you always tried to make it your responsibility to be there, and you were. Like, I love you. I appreciate you for that. You've done so much for me. You have no idea. I even took an acting lesson or 2 from Chantia a few years ago. I don't even know if you remember that.
Of course I do. We were in the studio. We were at the bar. I have a very long memory.
Right.
So yes, I remember, meeting you for the first time, going up the staircase. You and Shalonda came up. We went to the right. We went to the huge music studio and worked together. That was our first time working together. I don't forget much, especially, someone like you, who works on the soul, operates on the heart, connected to your spirit. Oh yeah, you are unforgettable.
I appreciate that, sis. You are as well. But you've always been genuine, and I felt it from day one. And you came to all of the open mics. You did your thing. It was so much fun. We kind of built even a bigger family of other poets that I've met over the years. And I just appreciate you. You're such a. It's so. And I think it's such a It's a reason for everything and all of that, right? But
Yes.
ending off the last show of the month of Women's Month to have someone like you on is important to me because I've always felt your aura and your strength. Like you're very just, you're resilient. You speak with confidence. You speak with also with empathy and love for people. But you stand on what you believe in. Like I just love it. I really do, Chantia. What is so okay? You're an educator, actress, you're a storyteller, you're a poet. What would you say was your first love? Which one of those was your first love, or was it just the art in the beginning period that just drew you to it?
Well, I thank you for, your pleasantries, and around my character, and my personage. It means a lot to me. You mean a lot to me. Men mean a lot to me. I am a woman who does feel responsible, for the men that, come across my path, especially, directly as you did, so I take that very seriously, because it is a position that I believe that more women should take, to sort of associate our responsibility in this life with how we choose to speak to men, the language that we choose to use, how we shape, the conversation, because it leaves a lasting impression because I'm your direct opposite and you are mine. And so
Wow.
when you speak to me, it is a reflection, of just that. So it's not a thought. It is my nature. So I thank you, very graciously for you to be able to articulate. And I've always respected you as a man, as a person, but also as a man, because you choose to share, you choose to keep talking. And that's something my mother taught. Keep talking, keep sharing, because you get to the heart of the matter, the root of the issue, because if you just like, how you doing? And people are like, oh, I'm doing pretty okay. But I feel something, a lot more than that. So you've always embraced me. And I love that because I know that can be a little bit intimidating and a bit scary, especially if someone is really asking you, how are you? And really gives a whole damn about your response, and is willing to do something about it, So that's me. So I didn't know that I was an actress at all. I didn't know that I was a writer. I wouldn't think about it like that. You know, um, I've always, especially at 7, that was my first experience with feeling something greater than myself, something above human experience. I would never forget where I was. I would never forget what I had on, and I would never forget how I felt. For me, feelings are important. How do I feel? And I didn't know at that time that I was contacting my spirit. What do I feel? What is this? So from there, I've just been led, and it was my mother, who actually created the environment for me to be free to express myself. That woman, I'm gonna get a little teary.
That's
That
fine.
woman,
That's fine.
she made a space. She
Hmm.
made an environment, throughout my life for me to be able to freely express myself. So when you have an entity like that, that is guiding you, that is leading you and loving you, you can find your way. So she allowed me to do it all. At first, I thought I was a speaker. So I have an identical twin sister, and we both are speakers. So in Baltimore, they had all sorts of speaking competitions growing up. So I went to all of them. So I used to start with speeches, and then I did poetry. I went from Edgar Allan Poe in my 3rd grade poetry class, and then I was introduced to Paul Laurence Dunbar, Maya Angelou, um, Gwendolyn Brooks. Gwendolyn Brooks is one of my all-time favorite poets. And through that class in 3rd grade, that's when I began to understand that I was doing something with these words, because everyone was like, what is that? That's just not poetry. But once I got into middle school, I had a teacher. It was a radio class. And she thought that I had a great speaking voice, but she told me, you're an actress. And I said, I had no idea about that. At that time, I was a speaker and a poet. So then she's like, you just flavor and color your language, you know, you color your words. Her name is Miss Guthrie. I went to high school with her daughter and middle school with her daughter. And so your wife knows her as well. And so she's a really great singer as well. And so when she planted that seed, she was the one who told me about the Baltimore School for the Arts, because I had no idea that a place like that existed for me to, you know, cultivate that aspect of myself. So it was there that I began to, you know, sort of explore the realms of acting. But it was through a spiritual connection, you know, with something unknown at the time I was 7. And then it became more known when I was about 11 and 12. You know, I used to say something inside so strong from the song, something inside so strong. So, so it was something inside so strong. And then I began to write even more. I read Maya Angelou's book when I was 9 years old. I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. So I began to write a little bit, and I've always been an avid reader. And so I've always written, but that was the journey. And so 6th grade, interesting enough, I also love rap music. I'm inspired by hip hop because I was, you know, growing up in the 80s and 90s, that those are poets to me. These are storytellers. You know, the guys that we grew up listening to, the ladies that we grew up listening to, they were telling real stories, but it was based off of real experiences, and they were putting it in the music. So I had some friends, and my friend and I, we love rap. I love Wu-Tang Clan. So we used to come with our rhymes every day, you know, and so I thought I was going to be also rhyming, but then I sort of fused them all together, you know, and understood that, you know, in my writing, I was also learning lessons. And it was my high school teacher who told me that I would be a great teacher, you know, as well. So she planted that seed. In the summer when I was 18 years old, I was her apprentice for her summer school program, for summer school for English. So I was, you know, just assisting her. And then once I was 19, I was given my own classroom. And then I began to even bring my poetry there, bring my writing there, you know, help to inspire some young people, just writing things down like your day. What are you feeling right now? So I believe I was born, you know, with a certain energy, because my mom had a certain energy. My mom is deep. She goes down deep. So I believe that it sort of came from that. So I've been working on all of my gifts, you know, every last one of them. I don't believe in burying them, not because the Bible says it, but because in my experience, it's sort of painful, you know, to keep things inside. It causes pain and nausea, and you feel sick, and, you know, you get headaches and things like that because something inside of you is saying, I want to get out, you know, release this. So I've never, you know, ran from that. I've never resisted. And again, my mother created the environment for me to continue to express. Like your daughter, you were repeating and repeating. Your daughter was like, Daddy, it's time. Daddy, it's time. You know, go ahead and share. You know, God works through anybody. You know, he works through children. He works through open vessels. So I've been an open vessel, and I believe that the inspiration has come because I stay open. Even now, during the pandemic and all, you know, even in the sort of aftermath of it, because everybody thinks it's done and we're over with, but we're still dealing in some very serious issues here. So
Absolutely. It's so inspiring and funny to hear you talk about your mom, because she implanted so much into you, because that's what I see about you with your two beautiful daughters. Like you do such a wonderful job. You really do. You know what I mean? I've always admired that about you, and just thought that was so beautiful, the relationship that you have with them and how you're cultivating them and just bringing them into life and showing them all different types of things. You know what I mean? It's wonderful. I look at your Instagram pages, and, you know, you can make all these wonderful dishes, and you look so happy, and just, you know, it's beautiful.
thank you, John. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, what would you? So, okay. So you write poetry. You're a storyteller as well. What did you want to do tonight? Did you want to tell a story, or did you have poetry you wanted to do? What were you feeling for tonight?
Well, I have, I'll call it a series of events. So I'll be telling some stories, I'll be doing some spoken word, and I'll be doing poetry. So I'll do a combination of them all. Again, I incorporate it all in my work,
Mhm.
so this will be a sort of snippet of the body of work that I've been creating over the many years. And thank you
Awesome.
for bringing up my daughters. We are in a season of in-betweens, because we are memorializing my mother and we are celebrating. My daughter is 16. She'll be graduating and going to college in the fall. I'm really excited for her, for her to see herself, at her destiny, at this juncture of her destiny. It's beautiful to me. I love to see that, in others. So that's why you say happiness, you see us in this way, because I believe wholeheartedly, John, if we focus on, accomplishing something outside of ourselves, that happiness will never find, that joy will never find. And I never wanted it in just snippets. I wanted to see if I could experience something long term, something sustainable, even within my family. How can I do this? It was a question, and that was implanted in me at 16. So I created that, for my daughters, their names, and what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be in front of them. So I was chosen and they chose me, and I still choose them and they choose me. And we continue to choose this journey, whether good, bad, or indifferent. Because I say I take the crooked with the straight, because things going to be crooked, because the
Right,
way is not easy.
right,
We order our steps. I think very carefully. I don't take myself too seriously. I love to laugh, so I stay close to my childlike energy. So I believe that's also a part of what makes our community, my family community, thrive, because I'm fairly transparent as well. I
right.
don't hide myself from them, so they won't hide themselves from me. So we're having a pretty good experience amidst tragedy, you know, that we can still celebrate. And I can celebrate with you and celebrate with others. I want to be used. Some people don't have that in their mind, but I want to be used always. So how can I do that? So I'm always releasing. And I'm
Right.
always examining and looking for what to release, because it is something, that's trying to tie me down. I always say, just like my mother has said, you got things to do. You got things to do. Let it go. Let it go. So that's what I've been doing all my life thus far, letting it go, because I got things to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, yeah, I by this being the month of March, my father's birthday is the 25th of March. And he passed away in 2015. Growing up, me and my brother we were in sports and stuff. He didn't push us to like do it. It was like, if this is what you want to do, then I'm gonna invest in it and see if y'all like doing it. I played the clarinet. I did all types of stuff. But sports, football was something that was like, he was a coach, you know what I mean? So he not only raised me and my brother, but a lot of my friends and other guys that I grew up with, he was kind of like a father figure to them in a way. Everybody respected him. They really did. Um, and for me, I was just thinking the other day, right? For me to, because he really loves education. That was his real passion. He used to make me read. He used to work 4 to 12 in the evening. And me and my brother would see him when we would come up the street from off the school bus. He would be coming down the street to go to work. He would make us read into a tape recorder at night, read an article from out of the newspaper that he chose. We would have to record ourselves. So when he came home, he would listen to it and see if we're, getting further and further in our reading. And this when I was in elementary school. You know what I mean? So for me to have accomplished something as writing a book, like, I would have loved for him to experience that and soak that up with me. You know what I mean? Because he would have been elated. He loved he loves stuff like that. You know, he
Do you
really do.
mind if I offer you something?
What's that?
Your father, God rest his soul,
Mm-hmm.
continuously, because he is a huge reason why you're in my life. You know, and again, we are friends, we are family.
Absolutely.
You know, and you know, he is with you. This is why you wrote the book.
Right.
He's at the underbelly of that. You know, you still want to make him proud, and he still wants you to make him proud, you know, and sort of push yourself. And I'm not where you are in your journey since you started your journey with your dad and his new form in 2015, and mine began just last October in 2021. And interesting, my mom transition day was the 25th of October, as your dad's birthday is the 25th of this month. We have that in common too, which is pretty ironic to me, in the best of ways. But he is with you. You know, when I met you, and I'm sure probably people have told you this, but you always seem older than what you are, you know, a very mature man, you know, a very mature being, you know, because you really, like I said before, you look deeply into things, you know, and you try to find the meaning of it, you know. So I want to encourage you, you know, to know that you're not alone. You're not without. It's just a new form. It's a new form that we need to get to know and embrace, you know. And I'm not saying this because I believe I have an answer, but we're not alone. We're never alone. We're always accepted, you know, because we're watched over, and we're sort of succumb to this fate of them being surrounding us always, you know. You know, we're never without them. You know, it's like, I believe that with my mom, I sense that, you know, she's still pushing me forward, just as I was as a child, just as I was as a teenager, just as I was as a supposed young adult. And I say supposed because, you know, this is the titles that they give us, you know, children and teenagers and things, you know, but it's the inspiration that this is how you know it's still there. The seed is planted, so you're still growing. So even more things that your dad had hopes for you in, that investment is still coming out of you. And I think that it'll last until we get to that other side, into our new form. I know Dad is in you. This is how you lead your family so strongly and so fiercely like you do. Your dad is a part of your DNA. He's in your bones. That's where I feel my mom these days. Like, it's in my bones, you know?
I love it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. All right, so without further ado, I know that people cannot wait to hear you spit some beautiful words. Your voice too is another thing that's beautiful. I love your voice, always did. The earrings, it's funny that you say about, you know, the time that we grew up in, because I love the earrings you got on. That's so 80s. It's just, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Much. Thank you, John.
All
Let's
right, so
have some fun.
Yep. So whatever you ready, whichever one you want to do first, you can go right ahead.
Okay. This first piece is called I Am Deeper Than Fried Chicken. On a hot, sunny day down in the Delta, Mama decided to keep a secret from the house. She had been stealing flour that she had milled and sifted. She also been stealing pig fat that my peoples made into lard. We had had an old back house as our lodging for about a year's time, and we made a tiny kitchen out of the front end. Mama was smart because her mama and Papa taught her a lot about how to survive and stay alive. She had been stealing for as long as she started working for the Thomases, so about almost a year. I never told Mama, but I could smell the pig fat on her when she opened the back house door. She snuck the flour past me. I don't know how she did it. I was always loving all over her when she came in from the house. She was tired as an old hound, but she smelled so sweet from baking cakes and pies for the Thomases. After she put on a house coat, I always brushed her hair and rubbed her feet, you know, and I always saw Mama and her feet was swelling for weeks, and they smelled real bad after she took off the slippers that Miss Thomas gave her. Her eyes was real low, but Mama did the best she could, and she walked real slow too. That didn't stop Mama though from making a meal. This night, it was not the same. She had asked me to go to the back to find some pieces of firewood. The sun was still pretty high, so Mr. Thomas wasn't out in all that high heat. He just can't stand to be out during all that high heat time. So I grabbed 6 pieces of firewood. Mama didn't say what it was for, so I got as much as I could so she wouldn't have to ask me to go back out again. It was too hot. Sometimes Michael would go off and tell on me, and I would get a whooping from Mrs. Thomas. He was just mad all the time because his mama had to work in the field, and my mama was cooking in the house for the Thomases. Well, Mrs. Thomas was the worst, because before she got to wailing, she always liked for me to stand naked and turn around 6 times before the switch started stinging my backside. It wasn't until later on when I found out that Mrs. Thomas had a thing for little black slave boys. Mama pointed to where she wanted me to lay the firewood. I did as I was told, because Mama's hands was even worse than Mrs. Thomas's. I think her hands heavy because of all that milling and flour and sifting and kneading that dough for Mrs. Thomas's cakes and pies. Mrs. Thomas had parties every Wednesday and Sunday for the ladies at her church. They all be liking Mama's pies and cakes so much, they be trying to ask Mama to work for them behind Mrs. Thomas's back. Mama always just laugh and smile. She never say yes or no. She think they not going to treat her as good as the Thomases. We do got a back house and all. Mama put a cast iron pot on the top of the wood. I started the fire with 2 sticks because I was the best one in my family who could do it. My daddy taught me. So actually, he the best. I just come right after him. Mama put the lard in the pot. She had went over to the corner where she was keeping something under the ground. It was some chicken legs. The Thomases don't like legs because they say it ain't the good part. So they always give it to the hounds. But today, they gave it to Mama for doing some real good work in the kitchen for a whole year. Mama pulled the chicken legs out of the brown bag and put them in a big bowl. Mama just did that, and afterwards she went underneath my bed and got out another brown bag. Mama go to the store every Sunday with Mrs. Thomas after church, and the groceries come in a brown bag that Mama keeps under the bed. Mrs. Thomas didn't understand why she wanted a brown bag, but she let Mama have 2 of them. Mrs. Thomas said that she can't get no more after that because she won't trust Mama. Mama put the second brown bag on the ground beside the first one that had the chicken legs in them. I was waiting to see what was in the second brown bag. I was hoping that it was some candy that I see in the Thomas's kitchen. When Mama opened the second brown bag, she put her hand inside and pulled it out. Her whole hand was white. I thought Mama wanted to turn into a white woman. I was so scared. I held it so tight. She said, "Boy," and she started laughing. Mama unwrapped my little skinny arms from around her. She put the chicken from the bowl into the second bag. She said it was flour for the chicken. "I'm going to fry it in the pot," she said. Before long, I heard the lard crackling. Mama took 1 piece of fried chicken leg at a time and carefully put each one into the cast iron pot. The chicken legs began to fry. Oh, our back house never smelled so good with food. Woo! We never had fried chicken legs before. Mama said that her mama taught her and that she'll teach me so I can fry chicken legs for my family when I get good and grown. Mama turned the chicken legs over about 4 times. She said that the chicken legs had to be fried on all sides to get done. After they were done, Mama took them out with a big spoon and laid the chicken legs on the first brown bag. Mama said that that was some lard that's on it that need to be gone from the chicken legs. "You never want too much lard on them, you hear?" she said. So Once some of the Lord had drained off on the first bag, we could get one and eat. I got the one in the middle. Daddy got the one on the right. It was the biggest piece. And Mama got the one on the left. We all took a bite at the same time. We just kept biting and biting. That was good, Daddy said. Mama just smiled like she always do at Daddy. And then we made a fire from the rest of the firewood that I had brought in from the back. We all sat around the fire and I listened to stories about my great granddaddy and grandmama from Africa and my great uncle Christian from Barbados. I never get tired of hearing about my great granddaddy from Africa and how he was a leader of a tribe. He was even called for by a king who wore a gold crown with diamonds in it to protect the land from the outsiders. Every year after that, Mama fried chicken legs in our back house. She even started frying in the Thomas's kitchen for the ladies after church on Sunday. Oh, when Mama fried chicken, her and Daddy told stories. When I got older, I was telling those stories because Daddy said I would forget them if I don't tell them. Then fried chicken legs was always brought us together around the fire. It was more than fried chicken, though. It was more than Mama smiling when Daddy said that it tastes so good. It was the way that it brought us together and kept our great history alive and out of secrecy, I believe. Fried chicken goes down deep, but not deep as my roots. Thanks.
I love it, sis. I love it. I love it. You my favorite story. I tell you this all the time, but I'm serious. Like, you are my favorite storyteller. I love the delivery and everything and how you do it. It's absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, John.
I know your girls love it. Did you tell them stories as they were growing up? Like, you know, how we get bedtime stories and stuff?
Yes, I was reminded of that when you shared that your dad would have you and your brother, record, because I had an African storytelling time. Actually, all of my nieces and nephews were confused. I'm sorry, not confused, but used in it. And then they were confused, like when I would tell them stories when they would stay the night. But I told stories every night to my girls, and it was incorporated with lessons. So say if there was something that happened in the day with them as individuals or them together, like say if there was some type of argument or something, I would always incorporate that. So they were Say La La and Sarai and then I have a nephew, his name is Amir. He was a myriad. And so I incorporated all of the children in the stories because when I said at the beginning about imagination being lost, as we get older, we start to go away from our imaginative source, and I wanted my girls to have that imagination be sparked every single day. And then I believe at night, before you go to sleep and you tell these beautiful, vivid stories, you can dream, a very vivid dream. And I think it's the way to believe in God even more, to see things without seeing them in a book. And you're just hearing the tones and the vibrations. So I certainly did, so it was wonderful with them. And they still love it. We still talk about those stories today, but that was years I told those stories, for them to be closer and for me to have a different voice. And I also, because I am an actress too, I incorporated acting in my raising of my girls. I have this character called the Mean Lion. So the Mean Lion, that thing is mean, And the Mean Lion came out, because as we're growing, I have two very strong-willed girls, and they're very intelligent emotionally. So I believe we're all born with the powerful skill of manipulation. We have to get what we need and get what we want. And so the Mean Lion for my youngest one was a character specifically for her because she needed to learn, how to approach getting what you want, but also having compassion for the other. You can get what you need, but we have to think about others, not just your sister, but how can we do it without making other people uncomfortable or making them feel like they don't matter? Because it sparked a story because my eldest daughter, She said, she was 4 years old. She said to her sister, who's 15 months younger, she said, I'm a human being. I am not a toy. I have feelings, and they are deep feelings. We talk about this all the time. They were very articulate and very aware, of what they needed. So that's where the mean lion came, because the mean lion would come out in an instant. And I would be really a lion, getting on the floor and talking to her. Like I said, the imagination needs to be sparked. So I not just only spark that, beautiful little godlike energy and our ancestral energy and good spirit energy. I had to spark that other energy too, because it is the other side. There are opposites of things. So yeah, so I certainly, I believe in that. As I said, I use it all. I wanted to inspire these people that, I was called to be with, for a certain time. And so, yeah, that thank you for, just bringing that up. And, with your dad and your brother, I think that is a tradition, that we need to keep alive, within our community, within our families. And we can do it right at home, and then I used to, when they would have their friends, stuff going on with friends, I incorporated that in the stories as well. How do you deal with, opposition in friendship, differences in friendship? It's always a lesson. I'm educating always. I can't help that. It's just in me.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So whenever you're ready, I want to hear something else. I'm so like addicted right now. I'm telling you, if you had an audio book, I'm buying it. I'm telling you, I'm buying it. You know what I mean? So many of these young people out here saying, "Oh my God!" Like they need what you give out. That positivity. That.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you're ready, go ahead. I'm waiting.
So, that what I just shared, that was inspired just by, actually, I was cooking fried chicken one day, chicken legs, and that came about, and I was just thinking, where did this, really come from? I know it came from our ancestors, but where does each individual family get their style of doing things that all of us seem to do? Everybody's fried chicken isn't the same, so everybody's telling of stories is not the same. But this next piece, this was inspired by, women who were in quarantine at the beginning of the pandemic. And they had some serious frustrations and needed to, get some things off their chest in a different way. Fuck! Shit! My clit is dry from being unused. I mean, go right on ahead and laugh if you're feeling amused. And I'm confused as fuck as to why he ain't texting me back. I'm going to remember that his dick is whack. I mean, we can't even FaceTime because he got a Samsung. My pussy is tight from being undone, uncooked and not basted. My time he just wasted. I wish these pulsations would be erased with calls that say that you on your way over. I get so excited when I hear his Range Rover. Come over and bulldoze this pussy. Come get you a taste. Let me put this ushy gushy all over your face. He said he working overtime, but his job ain't essential. I'm trying to put that dick on lock. Make him residential. Shit. Fuck that. I'm ready to swing. Anybody got a cheating husband they allowed to sling that thing? I mean, boomerang that dick over to me. Even though it's a little bushy, because I've been in quarantine. I mean, every girl's pussy looks like a tree right now. Bushes everywhere because ain't shit going down. I mean, maybe some of y'all getting that good vitamin D right quick. Not getting none is making me sick. Shit! Making me feel like I'm losing my mind. I need the good Lord to send me a sign. Is the dick coming or not? Fuck it. I'm about to talk to the dude from Save-A-Lot. What? I mean, I see him at the grocery store every 2 weeks. He's proven consistent. I mean, does anyone know how I can fuck from a distance? Damn, I sound desperate as fuck. I mean, I just got 2 titties that need to be sucked. I got a whole ass that need to be grabbed. Some good pussy that needs a real good jab. I mean, the small of my back needs to be blown out. All the neighbors need to know what I'm singing about. I need a tongue in my mouth, a dick in my face. I need to come all over the place. And I don't give a fuck if this sounds absurd. It ain't your pussy that's feeling perturbed. She's lost, lonely. She don't know what the fuck going on. She think all the dick in the world is gone. I mean, I'm concerned about all of us who ain't getting none. This time in quarantine ain't been no fucking fun. I want to swing from the ceilings. I want the neighbors to know my name. Not getting no dick is a goddamn shame. It's fucking pathetic the way this shit's set up. I'm all for safety, but this shit been rough. Fuck. And listen, I don't have a problem living by myself. It's my pussy that needs some thick dick help. She need to be freed from her trauma and anxiety. I need to change. It's a little variety. Oh, and don't ask about my purple vibrator. Oh, I'm going to use Big Dick Charlie later. But the fact still remains that is no real relief. But my pussy is going through some real emotional grief. I mean, I took a few puffs to try to clear my mind. I mean, I drank a whole bottle of wine, but that shit ain't worked this time. And I went through my phone just to start a little conversation. I've been experiencing a lot of corona hesitation. The aggression is building. I'm annoyed as fuck. No dick in sight. And I'm shit out of luck. Fuck it then. I'm about to start a new hobby. How that shit go? Oh yeah. Dear diary. I started writing some of my thoughts down on paper last week. I realized something. I'm a real freaky dick. Damn. Not the kind that's empowered by my own decisions, but the kind that needs some psychiatric supervision. For real. I've been fucking up according to my own words. Giving up all this good pussy. Even seconds and thirds. I've been meeting all sorts of people and taking them home because I've been trying to find me a man like from the movie Love Jones. You know, a real hard worker, kind, loyal, and a smooth talker who can talk the shit in my ear, who gives me real reason not to exist in fear. But from my writings, I've learned that I've been seeking what I can't find and what can't ever be found. And I don't like the way my life story sounds. I don't want to be remembered as that chick who suck on the balls and eat the dick. Damn, that's some real deep shit. Just dick is for the birds. Because where it's at, when I need it the most, it's not prepared for combat. I mean, writing doesn't necessarily control my urge, but this quarantine shit is providing a real good purge. You know, it's cleansing me of all the thoughts that I made into a fact. Yearning for the wrong dick, it ain't where it's at. I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with wanting to be dick down. It's only a problem when he don't choose to stick around. You know, a liar, a coward, a thief in the night, a player, a magician, someone who vanishes in plain sight. You know, all of this silence, it's just forcing me to be with myself. And I fully realized something, you know, something else, that it's not my pussy that is in real deep help. Thank you.
Oh God, I love it. 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 Damn. Damn. I told y'all. Oh my goodness, Chantia. I love it. I love it. The way you act, the way you incorporate your acting in it is just, it's amazing, sis. I'm telling you, I love it.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you. I mean, women, we certainly get a bad rap for having desires.
Yeah.
That's still sort of a cliche topic for women to freely speak about. And I wanted to just capture the spirit and the essence of that it is okay to have a desire. But I do believe at the root of the matter, it's always something there, blind spots. There's reasons why we're yearning for something outside of ourselves. So, we can want pleasure, but a lot of times we confuse it, with our lust and our desires for companionship, that we just want people to comfort us, we don't really essentially just want someone just in our lives and just out of our lives in a second. I think we want people to make an impact on our lives, and we want to make an impact on their lives. I believe in seasons, though. There are seasons for people, to exist in your world, but it can be still respectable, it can still be that way for the self. I mean, not for the other, but for the self. And I think this woman was going through that. And I sense that other women were discovering certain aspects of themselves that they may have never been as honest about before.
Right. I too believe in seasons. I feel like you're always put around the right people in the right season for what you're going through and what you're like. When I look back over the last 5 years of the people that have been in my life and are still in my life, I still reach out to people that I haven't seen in a while or talked to, because they don't even realize how much of an impact they had on me to get to where I'm at now and to still keep going. Because I want to keep going. I want, so much of the things I want to do, but being inspired and having the right people around you at the right times, that season is serious. Because I used to look at it as, I have to stop this and leave and do something else, and that's not it's you're placed in every season for a reason, to learn from it and to move forward into what you're doing. That's what I believe anyway. You know what I mean?
I believe that too. And I believe that we're still trying to discover that for ourselves, and to shape our own individual experiences. I mean, I believe we're always looking to others' experience, to sort of, to dictate, how we move in our journey. And this woman right here, she was, just from writing a couple things down about her experiences, and she reflected on it, because this is not a Toni Morrison book. This is not a Sister Soldier book. This is her, her life. And this is not a story. It's her experiences, because she's still here. Right. I have an issue with, us saying stories about our life. This is my story. Right. No, these are your experiences, because when we start to say story, I think we separate ourselves, from the opportunity to really understand what those experiences were really about. The story aspect or the actual language, the word itself is sort of coupled with some type of illusion, or coupled with some type of imaginative circumstance. When we say story, we think of something made up, something that someone wrote down that they could have embellished in some way. So I'd like to say, if I'm talking about myself, these are my experiences, because they're still with me.
Right. Right. Man, before we get out of here, you can share something else for us and then tell everybody how we can follow.
Yes. So this is this piece. Okay. I got to do this one. I was going to close us off with something else, but I got to do this one because this is for my brothers. I love my men, and I'm an advocate for them. I love them deeply, and I respect them immensely, and I hold them in high regard in whatever position they're in. Mm-hmm. So this is the voice of him. It's called SOS. No walking, no talking, no laughing, no joking, no driving, no swimming, no dancing, no romancing, no sneezing, no eating, no gathering, no cooking, No smoking, no writing, no smiling, no looking, no standing, no sitting, no spitting, no coughing, no swirling, no spinning, no sinning, no winning, no jogging, no sleeping, no breathing. We can't do nothing. And our doing nothing is something to the men in blue. Tried and true, we petition to you. Every day we have to destroy a myth. We can't even say we plead the fifth. Not wanting to incriminate ourselves any further. A gun to our face if we hear a slight murmur. We can't call on our mamas, our daddies neither. Not our city councilmen, temperatures rising. Fever, headaches, and body sores too. Under massive stress, we protest. Then you wonder why there's civil unrest. Our traumas are not calculated. Our fears are minimized. Our condition, our concerns, our ships are capsized. Man, we drowning in pain, overloaded by misery, overwhelmed by hopelessness, but y'all still can't see. Tired is an understatement. We exhausted from that. Just for once, can y'all commit to the facts? Black lives don't matter to a lot of y'all. Because if it did, the whole world would be appalled. In an upheaval, the battle wouldn't just be ours. The tears that we cry be our only superpowers. Man, they come down our face and they land on our lips. To the bottle we go. And this type of life ain't it. Y'all hate us. Just say it and deal with that. Y'all know we ain't the only ones smoking crack. Don't take it out on my brother and leave my sister alone. I called the mayor, but he don't pick up the phone. We can't finish what we didn't start. We don't got no parts in that. We go to school, we get degrees. So where our liberation at? We still got to yell for it, but it falls on deaf ears. All we do is plan funerals because death is always near. Man, we don't know if today our last day. This might be my last moment. And I didn't get to see my daughter be born. But y'all want me to be an informant? And our eyes are wide open. It's been like this. All lives matter, but it's like we don't exist. If I don't, cause no direct harm to you, you don't even care. It ain't really your concern. Why should you give a damn if our houses burn? It don't take away from your pension, your mansion, or your yacht. Your pretty little girls, y'all got what y'all got. Our tears mean nothing, and our funerals too. It's not your problem, right? What are you gonna do? You need to feed your family. But what about me? What is it about the Black man that spews so much jealousy? Y'all hate that we smile. Y'all even hate when we laugh. But y'all steal our music and imitate our dance. And we supposed to be melancholy, sad and sullen, blues for Mr. Charlie, our heroes falling. And I ain't got time to talk about anything superficial. We know about all that. We just downright hate us. It's just a mitigated fact. You hate that we here and that we here to stay. Y'all do wish we could go back to Africa one day. Well, Africa is in America, and so is Brazil. You can't put us out. That's the reason y'all kill. You mad because we don't have to listen. We pass the bar, become doctors, and we form coalitions to speak and fight against the evil that constantly prevails. We are not slaves. We are free, but we better not exhale. Murder in broad daylight, witnesses all around, cameras recording a killing spree we found. And yet there still needs to be a thorough investigation of what, might I ask, for more exploitation? Our pain must be manufactured, right? Remember, because we don't feel. Come on, America. What's really the deal? The media has to get paid, and so does its correspondence. We get treated the worst. Y'all want us unresponsive. White men come from under rocks to chime into that conversation. It's our fault. We shouldn't have been there. That's their accusation. We shouldn't stand on corners. We should obey the law. Even when we do, y'all still find a flaw. bring up stuff we did in our youth. We are grown men now. For real. Come on, tell the whole truth. Your fear gets coddled when we are dead or behind bars, locked out in prison where we gain more scars. Maybe it's room on another planet, a place where we have not considered to be abandoned. Maybe the aliens don't discriminate. They just talk a little funny. A place where we don't have to worry about money. Maybe some misunderstandings along the way, like who gonna travel to the moon that day to collect some elements like magnesium and iron, a place where they don't do a whole lot of lying, a place where our kids can grow up, a place where we ain't told to shut the fuck up, where I can walk backwards, I can moonwalk back home and not get shot, kiss my kids on the forehead, hug my mama. We don't want a lot. We want the best for ourselves, just like you. But what is a free man in America to do? Of course, we add a little humor to deal with the strife. White cop, Asian cop, can you please spare our life?
Awesome as usual, sis. I swear you set the bar so high. It's goddamn. I love it. I love it.
You gotta rock and roll. You gotta go. Are we done?
Yeah, we are, but I'm sorry. I went a little bit over, but it's all good. Look, sis, I love you so much. It's so good to see you.
It's so great to see you. I just want to say to my women, we got things to do. We got to release.
Yep.
We got to know, we got to understand that we still exist. We are the creators of life. We got to let stuff go. We got to get back to the number one us. You go to sleep by yourself, whether you have somebody beside you or not. We got things to do, ladies.
I love it, Chantia. I'll definitely have you back on soon.
Oh, this is great. Thank you for having me, John. This was so much fun. Thank you for creating this space. Thank you for having a space, for everybody to come and not only feel comfortable and safe, but to be accepted. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I appreciate
that. And thank you for what you do. Thank you for inspiring me and pushing me and just being genuine and real with me from day one. I love you, sis.
Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being a man who knows how to praise a woman. Thank you so much, because that's why I give you everything I got. You and that beautiful wife and those beautiful girls of yours. I love y'all, and those dogs. They belong to you, man.
Absolutely. Hopefully I can see you this summer if everything goes well out here with this virus. Please be safe, be vigilant, take care of those beautiful girls that you have, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
All right, sis. Love you.
Love you back.
All right.